Back in 1979, there was a World Vegetarian Congress in Loughborough, which is a town in north of England. And at a very tender age, then I was elected to represent the International Vegetarian Union at a very young age. And I think I'm still the youngest person to sort of hold that portfolio in the vegetarian fraternity. And for my passion for compassionate living and vegetarianism and veganism has come to a stage where now we are along with our work at the Parliament and with other stakeholders, are trying to put forward some ideas for the institutions to consider. That it's absolutely vital that, for example, most medicines, when they're prescribed by a GP, like a general practitioner, a doctor, and you go to the chemist, to the pharmacy, and you buy what the doctor says to you to have. And bearing in mind that a country like United Kingdom, where I live, almost 2 million people are vegetarians by lifestyle. But then there are equally same number of people, if not slightly more, that choose to practice vegetarianism and veganism because perhaps of their faith, their religion, their culture, or their health issues. So we are very particular at this moment in time in trying to relay this particular point across to the health authorities and the education authorities in the United Kingdom. And we are recommending that medicine should be labeled as suitable for vegetarianism, vegetarians and vegans. If that can be done on labeling, on food, and so we see why there is no reason why it cannot be done on medications. And as we are all aware that there are a huge amount of dead material from dead animals, that goes into medications. And let me just give you a couple of examples. We're all aware of the fact that gelatin is a product that's used not only in food but also in medications, and that's derived from cattle, also from porcine skin and hide or bone, and even in fish in some cases. Other sort of examples of animal derived ingredients are from the tissues of pig, the intestines of cattle, and from the urine of pregnant mares. And I mean, this information is quite public, but that's probably just the tip of the iceberg. That's only what we get to know. There's obviously a lot more activity that's taking place. How these animals are obviously slaughtered and put into various applications, because people want to make money. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't take drugs. I mean, if there is a health condition, you have to get better. But it is a right, freedom of choice for people to understand what are they doing, what are they putting inside their body, which is hopefully going to make them well again. And I think it's just a question of choice, and people need to be given that privilege. This is an area which is very unclear. And also, for example, many patients, with specific dietary restrictions, are also likely to be consuming animal products, not knowing, what the medications are made of. So we don't want to be in a situation where we say, okay, well, I'm a very strict vegetarian, I'm a very strict vegan, and I adhere to a vegan diet, and then go around, wearing leather shoes or leather belts and consuming medications, that are made, from animal ingredients. And there is a whole series of opportunities in traditional medicines of the planet. When you look at the World Health Organization, they are claiming that 70% of the total population of the world still take traditional medicine. I would like to ask you that last year, the pharmaceutical industry made a total profit of over $50 billion. and that's not turnover, that's profit of $50 billion. So if I'm going to go and see my regular general practitioner, an allopathic doctor, because I want to get better, and I'm taking prescription, so for some of the prescriptions that have animal ingredients, which I don't support, which I don't want, and can you see that if their medicine system was working on me, why should their profits be growing at such a colossal rate year after year? If the products were working, then I am getting better, then their profit should be so small because their medicine system is working. So we need to look at this very carefully and go back to natural medicine, to go back to organic medicine, to go back to medicine, that has been devised, by our elders over centuries. And one of those traditions is, which I work with, is known as Ayurveda. Ayurveda means knowledge of life. It is completely 100% vegan preparation program. People who want to do something natural, we are automatically put into a bracket like we are vegans. And so that whatever everybody else is doing is natural. That's not right. So our medicine system is natural, but it's been classified as alternative. We are not alternative. We are the natural medicine system of planet Earth. And allopathic medicine is alternative. But I want to offer my hand, in friendship, to all my colleagues, who practice allopathic medicine and the pharmaceutical industry, and let us all come together and let us create a way of forming an integrated medicine for the future. So we have a wonderful model, that European countries can look at when it comes to the work that we're doing in the parliamentary community, and I have had the privilege on 2 or 3 occasions to amplify the same message here at the European Union Parliament in Brussels. I think there has to be first awareness amongst our fraternity, and we cannot just do all the normal things that each a man and a woman has a responsibility of living their life and looking after their families, going to work, and having holidays and all the wonderful things that we do as humans. But I want to, if there is a message that I can perhaps get across in this interview, is there might be some of us who are there who perhaps will listen to some of my thoughts that I'm sharing with you, is to actually look at passionately of putting your time, investing your time in politics, the Italian politics or the Spanish politics or the Norwegian politics, because nobody's going to do this for us. We have to do this ourselves. We cannot keep on fighting because the establishment and the huge amount of money that is being pumped by these sectors is colossal. We don't have the money, but what we have is a very strong willpower, and we represent the stand of the normal man and the woman in the street, which is a lot more powerful, which should be a lot more powerful. So I think we really need to be creating lobbies, need to be creating organizations and associations, especially with those political parties, who we can make understand that this is what we want. If the political parties can come to you and say, we need your vote, why can't we say to them, if you need our vote, then we need you to give us this? That's fair.